Earth's vast network of space monitoring stations had grown accustomed to routine signals, distant stars pulsing, familiar satellites, the occasional meteor shower. But on a clear spring morning, something different crackled through the arrays. The signal was unlike any before, a precise, complex transmission originating not from a nearby planet or star, but from deep beyond the known sectors of human space. Dr. Lena Morales, lead astrophysicist at the International Space Observation. Senta stared intently at the scrolling data on her screen. "This isn't random noise," she murmured. "It's a message, and it's directed right at us." Within hours, the world's governments were alerted. The message was translated and broadcast to global leaders by an international coalition of scientists and linguists working around the clock. It was brief, but the words carried a weight that stunned everyone. Humanity's unchecked technological rise threatens galactic balance. Cease advancement immediately, or face destruction. No explanation. No room for negotiation. In the United Nations General Assembly, silence filled the vast chamber as the translated message was read aloud. Delegates exchanged uneasy glances, the air thick with disbelief. Could an alien force truly have the power to threaten Earth? And if so, what right did they have to dictate humanity's progress? President Amina Yusuf of the United Earth Council addressed the Assembly with steady resolve. "We will not live in fear. We have spent millennia striving for knowledge, for progress, for a better future. We owe it to ourselves and to generations to come to continue moving forward." Across the globe, news outlets scrambled to cover the unprecedented event. Citizens watched, some in awe, others in panic. Social media exploded with speculation, conspiracy theories, and calls for unity. Despite the chaos, a sense of pride blossomed. Humanity was being noticed by the galaxy itself. Meanwhile, military commanders convened emergency briefings. Earth's space defense was modest compared to what was implied by the message. It was clear that humanity had no way to know the true strength of the Galactic Council. But there was no time to hesitate. In a quiet office filled with star charts and holographic displays, General Hiro Tanaka reviewed intelligence reports. "We don't fully understand their capabilities," he said. "But they clearly have vast reach and power. Still, this warning is an opportunity, not a sentence." Scientists began to pore over ancient data and newly captured signals, searching for any hint about the Galactic Council's origins and intentions. They discovered scattered records of past civilizations wiped out under mysterious circumstances, fueling a grim urgency. At the same time, grassroots movements sprang up around the world. People volunteered for training programs, scientists shared breakthroughs openly, and engineers worked tirelessly to accelerate space technology development. There was no room for old rivalries. Humanity was uniting under a shared cause. In the quiet of her laboratory, Dr. Morales felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. The message was more than a threat. It was a challenge. How far could humanity push the boundaries of knowledge before crossing a line no one had dared approach? And what would be the consequences if they failed? As night fell over Earth, the stars above seemed to shimmer with a new intensity. Somewhere out there, the eyes of the Galactic Council watched, and Earth had just declared its intention to be counted. The world had never seen anything like it. Nations that had once clashed over borders, resources, and ideology suddenly found themselves united by a single, undeniable threat: the Galactic Council's warning. It was a crisis that demanded cooperation on an unprecedented scale. At the newly established United Earth Council headquarters, a sprawling facility built from the ruins of former rival embassies, delegates gathered daily. Old rivalries were set aside in favor of a shared mission: prepare Earth for the coming storm. President Amina Yusuf stood before the assembly once more, her voice calm but firm. "The message we received was clear. We face an enemy unlike any before, but we are not powerless. We are human, and in our unity, we find strength. Around the room, representatives nodded in agreement. For decades, distrust had fractured the planet. But now, as the shadows of war loomed, a new hope took root. Meanwhile, teams of scientists, engineers, and military leaders worked in seamless coordination. International research stations combined their efforts, pooling knowledge and resources. Laboratories that once competed fiercely now shared breakthroughs freely. Dr. Lena Morales was at the center of it all. In the vast underground research complex beneath the Alps, her team dissected fragments of alien transmissions intercepted near Earth's orbit. The technology was unlike anything humanity had seen. Quantum encryption, exotic energy signatures, and strange materials that defied known physics. "We're making progress," Lena told her colleagues during a briefing. "If we can decode their communication protocols, we might anticipate their moves. We need every advantage we can get." Across the Pacific, engineers at a newly formed aerospace alliance were redesigning Earth's satellite defenses and deep space probes. They integrated experimental propulsion systems inspired by alien concepts gleaned from recent data. Time was short, but the urgency fueled innovation. On the military front, General Hiro Tanaka oversaw rapid expansion and training of Earth's defense forces. Pilots trained in simulators designed to mimic unknown alien tactics. Ground forces prepared for both terrestrial and orbital combat. "We must be ready for anything," Hiro reminded his troops. "We fight not just for our planet, but for the future of humanity." Citizens around the globe responded with overwhelming enthusiasm. Volunteer programs sprang up in every city. Young people signed up for scientific research, technical apprenticeships, and military service in numbers never before seen. In the bustling streets of New Delhi, Maria Singh, a former engineer turned community organizer, coordinated efforts to educate the public. "We're all part of this," she told a group of eager volunteers. "Our survival depends on our unity and determination." Despite the pressure, not everyone was convinced this was the right path. Some politicians warned against provoking a superior enemy. Others feared the loss of national sovereignty under the United Earth Council's growing authority. Yet, moments of doubt were overshadowed by acts of courage and solidarity. In South America, a group of indigenous scientists discovered ancient rock formations that resonated with frequencies similar to those in the alien messages. Their findings opened new lines of inquiry about Earth's place in the cosmos. As weeks turned into months, Earth's defenses grew stronger and more sophisticated. Orbital platforms bristled with new weaponry, energy shields flickered to life, and advanced AI systems monitored every movement in space. Amid the turmoil, President Yusuf addressed the world in a historic broadcast. "We stand on the threshold of an unknown future. Our unity is our shield, our innovation, our sword. The Galactic Council has issued their warning. Now it is humanity's turn to speak, with one voice, one purpose, and unyielding resolve." In her laboratory, Dr. Morales stared up at the stars with renewed determination. The journey ahead would be perilous, but for the first time, humanity moved forward together, a single species ready to face whatever the galaxy might throw their way, and somewhere far beyond Earth's orbit. The eyes of the Galactic Council watched, waiting to see if humanity's defiance would lead to war, or something more. The sky above Earth was clear and calm when the Galactic Council ship appeared in orbit, a gleaming silhouette against the blackness of space. It was unlike any vessel humanity had ever seen, massive yet graceful, its hull shimmering with strange, iridescent colors that seemed to shift and flow like liquid light. Global Space Command scrambled its fleets instantly. Earth's defense forces, though small compared to the vast Galactic Council, moved swiftly and with surprising coordination. Pilots in sleek new fighters took their positions, ready to defend their home. In the command center, deep beneath the surface, General Hiro Tanaka watched the incoming ships approach with keen eyes. "This is the moment we've prepared for," he said quietly. "Remember, show strength, but be smart." A tense silence filled the room as the alien vessel came to a slow orbit around Earth's equator. Then, a broadcast was sent through. Every channel spoken in a voice both musical and authoritative. "This is the Galactic Council," the message declared. "You have been warned. Cease all technological development and submit to the Council's oversight or face destruction." The Council's envoy spoke with a tone that brooked no argument. But Earth's leaders were ready. President Amina Yusuf's voice echoed through Earth's broadcast networks. "We hear your warning, but we will not surrender our future. Humanity chooses progress, innovation, and freedom. We will defend our home." The alien ship responded with a show of power. Swarms of smaller attack drones emerged, their movements precise and intimidating. But Earth's space fleet countered with new weapons designed for agility and surprise. The fighters weaved through space with speed, dodging energy blasts and launching counterattacks that stunned the invaders. The battle was fierce, but brief. Earth's forces used unconventional tactics, blending human unpredictability with technology. Inspired by the alien signals decoded by Dr. Morales and her team, drones were disabled with electromagnetic pulses. Then fighter squadrons disrupted the enemy's formations. The Galactic Council envoy, witnessing humanity's resolve and unexpected prowess, ordered a retreat. The enormous ship pulled back, disappearing into the depths of space with a promise that the next encounter would be decisive. On Earth, victory was celebrated cautiously. While no decisive blow had been struck, humanity had proven it was not an easy target. The world's people felt a surge of pride and hope, but leaders knew this was only the beginning in the aftermath. General Tanaka convened with scientists and strategists. "They underestimated us," he said. "That was our advantage. We must build on it." Dr. Lena Morales analyzed battle data, her mind racing. "Their technology is powerful, but it has weaknesses. We need to find them before the next attack." Across the globe, citizens rallied behind the military effort. Artists painted murals of human fighters in space. Musicians composed anthems of resistance. And children dreamed of becoming pilots or scientists. Yet, beneath the surface of celebration, a sobering truth remained. The Galactic Council was vast and experienced. Earth's victory had only delayed the inevitable clash of civilizations. President Yusuf addressed the planet once more. "Today, we showed we will not bow to fear. Tomorrow, we prepare to fight for every inch of our world and our future." As night fell, stars glittered above with renewed meaning. Humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer a question. It was a challenge, and far beyond Earth's skies. The Galactic Council began to plan their next move. The world held its breath. The brief battle in Earth's orbit had shaken the Galactic Council's confidence. But it had also sent a clear message. Humanity would not submit quietly. Now, the moment had come to decide the course of the conflict. In a historic session held simultaneously in the newly united capitals across Earth, the United Earth Council convened. From the glass towers of New York to the rebuilt halls of Beijing, delegates and leaders gathered virtually, their faces solemn yet determined. President Amina Yusuf took the stage, flanked by generals, scientists, and diplomats. Cameras worldwide broadcast her words in real time, reaching billions. "Today, Earth stands united." She began, her voice steady and strong. "We have been warned, threatened, and tested. We have answered with courage and ingenuity. EPTA. Galactic Council has left us no choice." She paused, letting the gravity of her message settle over the planet. We declare war. The declaration rippled through the globe like a shockwave. For some, it was terrifying, a leap into the unknown. For others, it was the ultimate act of defiance, a rallying cry for humanity's survival. Within hours, Earth's military forces moved to full wartime footing. Space fleets that had only recently been formed expanded rapidly, outfitted with both human-made and retrofitted alien technology. Scientists worked to convert research into practical weapons and defense systems, while engineers accelerated production at breakneck speed. General Hiro Tanaka coordinated the mobilization with precision. "We cannot match the Galactic Council ship for ship," he told his officers. "But we will fight smarter, faster, and with a fierceness they have not seen before." Under his command, specialized squads trained in guerrilla tactics for space combat, using hit-and-run attacks and exploiting knowledge of local terrain such as asteroid belts and debris fields. Earth's forces also focused on disrupting the Council's supply lines, striking swiftly and disappearing into the void. Diplomatic efforts continued, but they were now backed by military power. Earth's ambassadors reached out to other civilizations, some hidden, some skeptical, hoping to build alliances or at least secure neutrality. Meanwhile, suits on Earth adapted to the new reality. Cities imposed curfews and blackout drills to protect against potential orbital strikes. Factories ran day and night, producing everything from weapons to life support systems. Schools incorporated survival training and space science into their curricula. Amid this flurry of activity, Dr. Lena Morales and her team made a breakthrough. After months of studying the alien technology and communication protocols, they unlocked a method to intercept and decode Council transmissions in real time. "This changes everything," Lena said during a tense briefing. "We can anticipate their movements, their orders, even their strategy." With this new edge, Earth's military commanders gained the upper hand in several skirmishes, catching Council patrols off guard and forcing them into defensive postures. Despite the harshness of war, humanity's spirit shone. Acts of bravery and kindness spread across the planet. Volunteers cared for refugees displaced by early strikes. Engineers worked overtime, fueled by the hope that their innovations might tip the balance in the halls of the United Earth Council. Debates were fierce but focused. The price of war was high, but surrender meant the loss of everything humanity had built and dreamed. President Yusuf, aware of the heavy burden, addressed the Council one final time before the first major offensive. "We fight not because we desire conflict, but because we cherish freedom," she said. "This war will define who we are as a species. We must ensure that when the galaxy looks back, it sees Earth standing tall." As Earth's fleets prepared to launch their coordinated strikes, the planet held a moment of silence. From the smallest villages to the largest cities, humanity looked up at the stars, once distant and silent, now a battlefield where the future would be decided, and somewhere deep in space. The Galactic Council's leaders convened, their faces inscrutable as they prepared to respond to Earth's declaration of war. The war had begun in earnest, but Earth was far from defeated. Despite the Galactic Council's vast resources and experience, humanity's greatest weapon proved to be something no alien technology could replicate: ingenuity born from determination and survival instinct. Deep within the sprawling underground laboratories beneath the Swiss Alps, Dr. Lena Morales and her team worked feverishly. They had scavenged parts from disabled Council drones and captured alien devices from recent skirmishes. Every fragment, every circuit was studied and repurposed. "Look at this," Lena said, holding up a small crystalline component that shimmered. "With an inner light, a power source unlike anything we have. If we can stabilize it, we can build compact, high-efficiency energy shields." Her colleagues exchanged excited glances. The breakthrough could revolutionize Earth's defenses. allowing soldiers and ships to withstand attacks that would have previously been fatal. Elsewhere, engineers in the sprawling Aerospace Alliance. Factories implemented new propulsion systems inspired by alien designs. Space fighters became faster and more maneuverable, capable of sudden bursts and complex evasive maneuvers. Captain Marcus Lee, leader of a newly formed Special Operations Squadron, tested the upgrades firsthand. The agility of these fighters is incredible, he told his crew during a training mission above the asteroid belt. We're no longer just reacting, we're controlling the battlefield. On the ground, soldiers adapted quickly as well. Training programs integrated alien combat techniques, tactical strategies, and new weapon systems. Teams specialized in stealth and sabotage were deployed behind enemy lines to disrupt Council operations. One of these squads, led by Lieutenant Sarah Al-Masri, had already scored several victories by disabling supply depots and communication arrays. "We fight smarter," Sarah said in a secure message to headquarters. "The Council expects brute force. We give them surprises." Human creativity also extended beyond the battlefield. Scientists developed advanced AI systems that could learn and evolve rapidly, coordinating fleet movements and battlefield logistics in ways that outpaced the rigid protocols of the Galactic Council in cities around the world. Civilians contributed by innovating in unexpected ways. Makerspaces produced drone swarms for reconnaissance. Medical teams developed advanced treatments for radiation exposure. And communication experts created secure channels resistant to alien interception. The Galactic Council grew frustrated. Their traditional tactics were less effective against an opponent who adapted on the fly. Blending creativity with technology in ways no single species could predict. In a strategic war room orbiting Earth, General Hiro Tanaka surveyed the latest battle reports. "They're using their own tech against them," he remarked. "Retrofitted shields, rapid-fire AI drones, hybrid propulsion, humanity's ingenuity is their strongest defense." But despite these successes, the toll of war weighed heavily. Casualties mounted, infrastructure strained, and the constant threat of orbital bombardment haunted daily life. Still, the people of Earth held fast to their belief that every sacrifice brought them closer to survival and victory. One evening, as she reviewed data in her lab, Dr. Morales received a message from Captain Lee's squadron. "We've located a hidden Council research station on the far side of the moon," the report said. "It's lightly defended, but contains valuable technology." Lena's heart quickened. This could be the opportunity they needed to turn the tide further. "Prepare a strike team," she instructed. "We take their technology and learn from it. We fight not just to survive, but to thrive." As Earth's forces geared up for the mission, the stars outside seemed to watch silently. Humanity's light burned bright, a beacon of hope, creativity, and resilience against a galaxy that had underestimated them. And in the cold expanse beyond, the Galactic Council recalculated. Their war against Earth was no longer just a campaign. A Forset had become a contest of wits and willpower. As the war between Earth and the Galactic Council intensified, cracks began to show within the Council itself. Not all its member species agreed on the harsh stance taken toward humanity. Some viewed Earth's rapid rise and fierce resistance not as a threat but as a sign of potential, a species worth watching. Maybe even helping Dot in the shadowy corridors of the Council's massive citadel. Whispers of dissent grew louder. Ambassador Thalren, a representative from the Varelian faction, met secretly with a small group of like-minded delegates. "We underestimated humanity," Thalren admitted, his eyes reflecting a deep curiosity. "Their defiance is not mere recklessness, it is courage. It reminds me of our own beginnings, before the Council was formed." Others in the faction agreed. "If we destroy them now," one delegate warned, "we lose an opportunity to gain a powerful new ally. Their ingenuity and spirit could benefit the entire galaxy." Meanwhile, On Earth, United Earth Council's diplomats sensed a subtle shift. Strange transmissions intercepted from within the council hinted at internal divisions. Though details were scarce, the possibility of allies within the enemy's ranks gave hope. Ambassador Jaya Patel, Earth's chief negotiator, worked tirelessly to establish back-channel communications. Her efforts were risky if discovered. It could mean immediate reprisal, but the potential payoff was too great to ignore. In a secure, undisclosed location aboard a council research station, Jaya met covertly with Thaurin. The alien's voice was calm, but firm. "We do not all seek your destruction," Thaurin said. "Some of us believe your species deserves a chance to prove itself beyond the tests of war." Their discussions were cautious, each side wary of betrayal. Thaurin shared fragments of council knowledge about other civilizations and technologies. Offering glimpses into the broader galactic landscape Earth had only just begun to understand. Back on Earth, news of the secret alliance was kept under the strictest confidence, but the benefits were swift. Intelligence from Thaurin's faction helped Earth's forces avoid ambushes and uncover hidden council outposts in the field. Lieutenant Sarah Almazri's Special Operations Team intercepted communications that led to a successful raid on a council supply convoy. "It was almost too easy," Sarah reported, amazed by the precise information that had guided them at the same time. The Galactic Council's war leaders faced growing frustration. Internal disputes over how to handle Earth slowed their strategies. Some argued for increased force, others urged diplomacy. General McHale, head of the Council's military forces, frowned. "We cannot afford division. Earth's defiance threatens the stability of the entire galaxy." But Ambassador Thaurin countered, "And crushing them may only create a stronger enemy. We must consider a future where Earth is not just a subject, but a partner." On Earth, the unity forged in the face of external threat now extended beyond planetary borders. Humanity was learning that survival meant not only strength but also diplomacy and understanding. President Amina Youssef praised the efforts quietly behind the scenes. In war, the greatest victories come not only from battle, but from building bridges where none seemed possible. The uneasy truce sparked by the alliance brought a brief respite in the fighting. Earth's forces used this time to repair, innovate, and prepare for what lay ahead. Yet, the war was far from over. The Galactic Council remained vast and powerful, and many of its members still saw Earth as an insubordinate threat to be crushed as night fell over Earth. The stars seemed to shimmer with cautious hope. In the darkness between worlds, new alliances formed, fragile but promising. Humanity was no longer alone in its fight, and the galaxy began to feel the first stirrings of a new order. The war had reached a critical phase. For months, Earth's forces had battled fiercely against the Galactic Council, relying on a mixture of raw courage, rapidly adapted alien technology, and the fragile alliance forged in secrecy. The galaxy, watched as humanity, once considered insignificant, now held its own among the stars in the command center orbiting Earth. General Hiro Tanaka studied the latest intelligence reports with a steady gaze. "We've identified a key council command hub located in the Zeta Quadrant," he said to the gathered officers. "Taking it out could cripple their coordination and give us a strategic advantage." The plan was bold, dangerous, but necessary. Earth's fleet prepared for a coordinated strike involving space fighters, special ops teams, and cyber warfare units. Captain Marcus Lee stood at the helm of his squadron, adrenaline pumping as their fighters slipped through asteroid fields and nebula clouds to avoid detection. "Stay sharp," he reminded his team. "This is the moment we show the galaxy what humanity is made of." Meanwhile, on the ground, Lieutenant Sarah Al-Masri led her team in a covert insertion onto the surface of the command hub's moon. Their mission: disable the hub's power core and disrupt the Ruby Council's communications. The operation unfolded with tense precision. Sarah's squad moved silently through shadowed tunnels, avoiding patrols and disabling security systems. When they reached the power core, they set charges designed by Earth's engineers, small, powerful, and efficient. As the explosions rocked the facility, spacefighters engaged Council defenders in a fierce dogfight overhead. The AI-driven drones unleashed volleys of plasma blasts. But human pilots countered with unpredictable maneuvers, striking at weak points uncovered by Lina Morales' decoding team. Back in orbit, General Tanaka coordinated the assault with calm. Authority, hold the line. Push forward. We win this, or we lose everything. The command hub's destruction sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. Without its nerve center, their forces scrambled to reorganize, their movements slower and less coordinated. For the first time, the tide of battle clearly shifted. But victory came at a cost. Several Earth fighters were lost in the engagement, and Sarah's team faced a desperate retreat under heavy fire. Yet their success inspired a renewed determination across Earth and its allies. President Amina Yusuf addressed the world in a stirring broadcast. Today, we have turned the tide. The courage, skill, and sacrifice of every person have brought us to a new dawn. But this war is not over. We must remain united, vigilant, and resolute. In the wake of the battle, Ambassador Thauron's faction within the Galactic Council gained strength. His message that coexistence and cooperation with Earth could benefit all resonated with more members weary of endless conflict. On Earth, scientists celebrated the breakthroughs that had made the strike possible. Dr. Lina Morales was hailed as a hero, but she remained focused. This is a step, not the end, she told her team. We must continue to innovate and prepare for whatever comes next. The war was far from finished, but humanity had proven it could stand among the stars. Not as victims, but as equals. As night cloaked Earth in silence, the stars above gleamed with promise and peril. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Earth had declared itself a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same. The war that had once threatened to consume Earth was finally drawing to a close. The decisive victory in the Zeta Quadrant had shifted the balance of power in humanity's favor, but the price had been high. Cities bore scars from orbital bombardments, and families grieved lost loved ones. Yet, amidst the devastation, hope flourished stronger than ever in the gleaming halls of the United Earth Council. President Amina Yusuf stood before representatives from Earth and the newly allied factions within the Galactic Council. The atmosphere was tense, but hopefully an assembly convened not to wage war, but to forge a new path. We have survived our greatest trial, President Yusuf began, her voice steady and resolute. Through unity, courage, and unyielding spirit, humanity has earned its place among the stars. Now we must choose how to wield that strength with wisdom, with compassion, and with respect for all life. Ambassador Thauron of the Varelian faction nodded in agreement. This conflict has taught us the cost of division. Together, we can build a galaxy where cooperation replaces conquest and understanding replaces fear. Delegates exchanged cautious but genuine smiles. The war was a harsh teacher, but it had opened eyes to the potential of a broader alliance. On Earth, rebuilding efforts were underway. Cities once shattered by conflict were reborn with new technologies, clean energy systems inspired by alien innovations, resilient architecture designed to withstand future threats, and networks that linked humanity closer than ever before. Dr. Lina Morales led an initiative to share scientific knowledge across species. Our discoveries belong not to one people, but to all who seek to explore the universe, she said during a press conference broadcast globally. Captain Marcus Lee and Lieutenant Sarah Al-Masri returned to Earth as celebrated heroes. Their stories, inspiring a new generation of explorers, scientists, and defenders. Yet they understood that vigilance was essential. The galaxy was vast, and challenges were never truly over. In classrooms, children studied the war's history not just as a tale of conflict, but as a lesson in resilience and unity. Artists, musicians, and writers found new inspiration in humanity's journey, creating works that celebrated hope amid adversity. The Galactic Council itself began to reform. With Earth's influence, its rigid hierarchy softened, making room for voices once silenced or ignored. Species long marginalized found a new place at the table, and cooperation flourished as the sun set over the blue planet. President Yusuf reflected quietly. The road ahead was uncertain, but humanity had proven it could face the stars not as a solitary spark, but as part of a vibrant constellation. The universe was no longer a distant dream. It was home, and with that knowledge, Earth's people looked forward, ready to write the next chapter of their story among the endless stars.